I die, who's gonna take care of my children?
So wait. Did y'all hear that? This video is brought to you by Extreme Tees. Click on the link below. Make sure you put Kevin in the promo code and you'll get a 20% discount. What's up, America? Kevin from Kevin's Corner. We back, y'all. Part 2 of A World Gone Mad, where we observe some of the craziest outbursts, some of the most nutty folks online, some of the biggest social justice warriors running around the country thinking that everybody's going to celebrate them as heroes, only to find out they're met with a rude awakening. Most Americans don't feel like they feel. This is the calculation that they always, forget. Same thing with all these woke companies. They always jump on the team of what they believe is the woke culture. Jump on Twitter. Oh, what? They said something about our products. You know what? We better go ahead and embrace Black Lives Matter. We better go ahead and do away with whatever product we're coming out with, because these folks right here might get mad. But yet these are the folks who don't really support. They don't buy stuff. You think all those social justice warriors who was mad because of calling the Kaepernicks pumpernickel? You think all those folks that was whining were buying tickets, jerseys, all of that? No. You think all of those folks buying LeBron's shoes and jerseys are social justice warriors? Men running around with buns in their hair, women with butch haircuts, all of that. You think those are the ones that support these companies? No, they don't. It's folks that got real jobs, go to work, come home, just want to be left alone and enjoy a good activity without being bombarded by all of these folks. Someone who don't want the kids coming home and, Mom, I learned about gender 435 today. Nobody wants that except for these folks. So let's get into it, y'all. Part 2. Now, before we get started, if you're new to my channel, hit like, share the video, and subscribe, and put your notifications on all. And if you are a current visitor or a frequent visitor of my channel, please leave me a quick, hey, Kev, what's happening? So I know that, people are actually watching my videos, because YouTube playing games. Now let's get into this mess, because so are these folks.
We now have our teachers, the people who are supposed to be educating our students, crying on video on the internet because their students might cough on them.
If I die, who's gonna take care of my children?
Take care of the kids.
And if I end up in a hospital, how am I gonna pay those bills?
How, y'all?
And if I give COVID to my students or my own children and they die, how am I going to live with that?
I remember.
And I want you to ask any teacher how they feel this year, and I'm sure that they will tell you that they have never experienced anxiety like this, because it is like we are trying to protect our students from a mass shooting that we know is coming but cannot do anything about. Except we can do something about it. It's just that not everyone agrees that wearing a mask will stop the onslaught of students and staff who are likely to become sick, and that makes me sick.
Y'all hear this lady hitting us with the Carl Thomas? I'm emotional. The Ralph Tresvant. You need a teacher with sensitivity, someone like me. So now you get this lady up in here crying, getting all sensitive. Now there are certain jobs you got to keep your crap together. Nobody wants a professional out there boo-hooing, spitting and slobbering all over the place over something like this. And Michael Knowles disagrees with this, and so do I.
If you're crying over the prospect that one of your students might cough on you and might spread the germs that statistically you have virtually no chance of facing serious complications from, a minuscule, infinitesimally small chance of facing serious complications from, and your students have an even lower chance, you are not fit to be, certainly not to be teaching anybody, but probably not fit to even be in public life.
Michael got a point. See, what these folks don't understand is, to them in their minds, the delusion part of them, that liberal justice in them, makes them think that by getting online, boo-hooing and crying, talking about what if I die, and we'll take care of the kids, and by doing that, in their mind they're thinking folks are going to have pity, folks are going to want to trust them with their kids. Folks will want to say, you know what, man, look, that lady looks like she'd be perfect to handle a crisis situation here. If something goes down at the school, she looks like somebody who would keep it together. Or would she just fall to pieces? Now, in her head, she probably thinks everybody's going, I feel so sad. Not realizing folks are looking at her like, you're breaking down over this? You're a grown woman. You are a teacher. You're supposed to be watching over kids, and you can't handle this? You're losing it? If this right here breaks you down like this, you shouldn't be putting that on the internet. Only dumb criminals and liberals, delusional liberals, put stuff like this on the internet, and then they're shocked when consequences happen. I know black folks that film themselves beating folks up, gunfights and stuff like that, and I guess they just assume, man, nobody's going to get hold to that footage. Next you know, they brought up on charges because they filmed their own crime. Same thing with these dumb liberals out there filming themselves on TV, crying, pushing race theory, being sneaky in the classroom, and then they wonder why they get fired. But, you know, she's not all by herself, because now we even going to bring in a little gender swap. Here's a social justice warrior, big bag of nothing, coming in the form of a man.
I would make sure that there were lots of works by people of color in the curriculum that I was teaching. I would make sure that we were having conversations about the situations those people of color find themselves in and how things ended up that way. Mm-hmm. And we'd make sure that we would acknowledge that things aren't happening one person at a time, but there is you know what I'm saying, that going on. Yeah.
No, I don't know what you're saying. I got to bust out my man hat to show this man how to be a real man, because he ain't no man. Up here talking about some sister. Get that mess out. If you are going to sneak and teach our kids this garbage, own it, man. If you want to get in there and be a social justice warrior talking about systemic racism, own it. But please, tell me, where's all the systemic racism? Tell me what you're teaching the little black kids that they're victims of. Do you think that's going to make them feel like they can go out and conquer the world? Or would it make them feel like they are in a perpetual state of victimization? And he thinks that he's doing some good. These folks right here are all young, most of them white, and they were a victim of brainwashing in the education system. And this is the product. This is the results of this. But he's not done yet, y'all. But I'm going to finish watching this with my man hat on.
Absolutely what I would do. But, you know, I won't.
Giving students the knowledge that systemic racism exists, well, that is the first step toward healing, which this country desperately needs. Please, Florida, let the teachers do their jobs.
No, that's not what I'm agreeing to. Please, Florida. All of this crap is not going to help the country heal. All it's doing is keeping the wound wide open. Every time it tries to heal, you guys go and rip it off. Y'all tear it off and talking about some systemic racism all the time. Y'all keep racism in everybody's mind fresh. You think the average person walking around are thinking about racism all the time? No. They're thinking about how they're going to make a living, how they're going to pay their bills. They ain't walking around going, how can I oppress Mexicans, gays, white folks, black folks, and all of them? These are the folks who adopt this critical race theory, not realizing that they've been indoctrinated many, many years ago. Some folks with some diabolical plans and some longevity on waiting to see the root start to grow and sprout in regards to these social ideas, these Marxist ideas, and the way that they knew that it would eventually sprout up in the education, into our entertainment, and into our, our news, all of that stuff. Now they're seeing the fruits of their labor in the form of all these teachers who think they're doing a good job and being social justice warriors, yeah, but they're not. They're part of the problem and not the solution. You hear this guy talking about healing. Speaking of healing, y'all, well, look at this, y'all. Here's another teacher who's crazy and don't even know it.
White privilege.
White privilege. What? What is that?
Think about it. Whose flesh tone is this?
I don't know. It's no one's flesh. No one's flesh tone. It's a Band-Aid. They've been around forever. See, this is the delusion of these radical teachers and leftists. They think these are real problems. They look around for problems like, how can I pretend to be fighting for justice? How can I win a whole bunch of pats on the back from people of color, people who, make up probably about 5% of the population, who's even this aggressive and progressive in regards to sensitivity over racism, where she's recognizing the color of a Band-Aid is a problem. So let me get this straight. You're going to jump into the minds of black folks. You didn't even do a survey. You didn't come into the hood and ask them, you know what, before I get on TV and make a fool of myself, or before I get on the internet and make a fool of myself, is there anyone in the black neighborhood that might be mad because Band-Aids don't come in their flesh tone? So you're going to make a problem for us. This is the same thing the Democrats do. Liberals do it, and they say white privilege. Well, I call that white privilege. When you try to jump in and say, I bet you black folks would be better off if they had Band-Aids to match their skin tone. That's probably going to make a difference in the black community. It's going to make them feel accepted. They probably get offended when they have to put this white flesh tone Band-Aid on their dark skin. She's not even thinking it through. She's probably thinking black folks are going to be like, now she gets it. No, we're going, she doesn't get it. That woman right there is nuts. She's batty. We don't care about this stuff. It's not going to make us smarter, richer, or solve any of the problems in the black community. And it's offensive that you would even bring this mess up. You didn't even think it through. This is the problem with delusion. You think everybody else thinks just what you think. So now she wants Band-Aids in the color of, I guess, black kids. Maybe she didn't check. But black kids come in a lot of different shades, y'all. We got high yeller. We got mid yeller. We got cocoa brown, y'all. We got that dark chocolate. We got all kind of colors, y'all, including Kev's color, which is dark, y'all. Walking down the street, see some girls who like to me, but I'm not high yellow. I'm black and I'm crispy, so all they do is diss me, cause I'm not high yellow. I'm getting my degree, but they'll never notice me, cause I'm not high yellow. I love my dark skin, but they don't think it's in, cause I'm not high yellow. But I love my skin, y'all, cause it came in. Thanks to Wesley Snipes, y'all. But anyway, let's get back to this crazy teacher.
I have brown Band-Aids in my classroom.
Okay.
I had to special order them. They're twice as much as these, and they're hard to find.
Probably.
And they're frequently out of stock.
Yeah.
But when I hand a brown child a white Band-Aid, I am literally adding insult to injury.
Really?
And I refuse to do that in my classroom.
Y'all hear this lady right here? I'm literally adding insult to injury. If y'all know her, have her call me. I will go ahead and counsel her. I would say remove this video off the internet. And good luck finding a husband if you're not already married. Because if she's married, or if any of these folks are married, they're only married to other social justice warriors. You can't have a life with a normal thinking person in society, and you are that hypersensitive and that laser focused on racism, sexism, you would live a miserable life, thus causing people around you to live a miserable life. Nobody wants to be around someone who's looking around for problems. Now, wait, what is this right here? Now, why does the watch have to be black? That right there is offensive. This right here is you know what? Look at this. Every time I think about buying water, I say, why does water have to be clear? See, the clarity represents the white man, and I think that all water should look like muddy water to, represent the black folk. Wait, no, that might also offend black folk. But you know what? I'll come up with something else to be mad about in a moment. Nobody wants to be around me. These folks are crazy, y'all. But anyway, we're going to move on, and I want y'all to check out the next video because we got some doozies, y'all. But before y'all go, make sure you hit that like button, share my videos, and make sure you leave a comment so that I will know you're there. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Also, make sure you set your notifications for all, and I see y'all in part 3 of A World Gone Mad.